Okay, they just one shot everything else. Did I? I totally tried to turn him. Guess. He's gonna one shot me.
This boss is rough, Cass. It's rough. That shit. It's gonna be very difficult for you to do it with no guard. It's gonna be very difficult. Um,
Yeah, we can. Give me like 2 minutes.
Shunt, we should be hard stacked together. Just saying to Shunt that we need to be hard stacked together, not off kilter.
yeah, I wasn't trying to contradict anything you may have said. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, all right, cool, perfect. And you never know what the vibe is with that. That's all I just wanted to say. Um, so yeah, in that thorn phase, from my experience, if you move, you're very likely to die, right? If you roll dodge, or especially if you're roll
You,
dodging, 'cause that's like a lot of movement, right?
you can only
So
get
you're
away
very
with
likely,
one roll dodge if you're gonna do it.
right? And if you happen to move and shuffle around a little bit, you're probably gonna die also. So if I don't know what you got everybody doing here, if people got shields with Bastion, or if you have any DPS who are rocking Echoing Vigor. Like, I'm not really sure what all you have going on, but I mean, it definitely helps if a DPS has an available slot for that, for sure. It's that last floor, as you guys have seen if you've been progging it, and we just saw, it's rough. It's very difficult on heals. It's very difficult on tanks. Um, so anything that DPS can assist in anyway with the heals, just Echoing Vigor, if it's great. If you don't, it's whatever. Definitely Bastion with the shield, is a good idea. That's what they do in some DBs too, mainly for the lightning phase, because in the thorns, like, you could die if you move. You're better off rolling the dice and just blocking and shielding up, and getting through that, trying to get through that lightning phase. If we're stacked properly and like the way we're supposed to be, because our stacking was a little bit chaotic in that phase there. If our
Um,
stacking's a little bit tighter and we're in position, we shouldn't really be catching too many overlaps at that point.
uh,
And I'm sorry.
oh, just to go off the stacking thing, I put two pictures in the PSN. One is pre-fight stacking, and one was when the confusion happened, and you could see how the confusion happened with Feather because nobody was on behind Cass when Manic, like people were supposed to be behind Cass in the thing, and then Nabiki was straight across from Cass, and pre-stacked was left. I'm trying.
Yeah, yeah. So if you guys are just progging this and some of you don't have to clear, don't get frustrated with this fight, okay? Like this is a very difficult fight initially to clear. Okay, so it's like a 20-minute fight and the whole trial relies on the last floor. You know, it's difficult to get there and it can go to shit really quick. Even for good experienced groups, it can go to shit. So don't get frustrated with it, you know. Um, it's just a whole learning process with the group you have and like what you need to do. The double lightnings with two people, if you're blocking and shielding, you should be able to survive that. Um, you should. I mean, maybe, maybe not. I think that you should. Roll dodging in Thorn Phase, I think, is much more dangerous. And if we're stacked properly in the position that you have us arranged now, if we keep the proper formation, we won't have multiple lightnings, but two. You know, and it's better off maybe just taking that chance, or at least experiment with it. Because we're also losing a lot of people there at the Coag phase. Um, I seen that you guys were holding the boss a little more out of the middle. Is there a reason that you're doing that strat in particular? Yeah, if you were able to hold him a little more towards the middle, that would be better just for cleave. 'Cause we, like you had said, we definitely need to be focusing the coags as they go in, but we also don't want to be taking too much burn off the boss. Um, Support should definitely have barrier ready for that phase. We all get I don't know if you guys play with all your self buffs on. I actually don't, so that way I'm able to see my debuffs a little bit better. But you'll see the countdown on that Coag phase, and even if it's not being called out, just prepare to shield and block as that gets to like one or two. You know, if a support can have a barrier at that time, like she was calling for, that's very important because if those Coags aren't burned down and that ball is as big as it was getting, that was wiping a lot of us every time. The more we're able to focus that, um, burning the little coags as they're coming in, the smaller that explosion is, and it's easier just to keep rolling through that phase. Also, like Floof had tried to get my res, don't get any reses in thorn phase because if you get reses while you have thorns, you're gonna have thorns when you go downstairs, and you're just gonna die right away. So it's better to just wait until after the explosion, and then whatever reses need to be got until before we push the boss to the next thorn phase. What? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, for sure. Oh, good. It's a tough fight. Definitely the more he can be centered is better just for the cleave, you know, as far as burning down the coags. And on the bottom floor, we've all got to stay right up on the boss, so that way the heals can get to all of us, including the tanks.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I very rarely have I seen a tank do this without guard. I was very surprised with that. I mean, it can be done, but it's difficult. It's really difficult. Um, like you're gonna be taking an intense amount of damage, and you have to roll dodges heavies. And I've cleared it twice on main tank. It was a shit show both times. It was better the most recent time, but man, I had Ickers everywhere. Cause you just gotta get used to when he revs is when you want to roll dodge, and then you just want to try to place him so that way you can backwalk the Ickers like along the wall a little bit. Basically, all the off tank is doing is having guard on you and grabbing the torturers when they come down. That's it. Like the OT is just trying to keep you alive for real and not get us killed by torturers and just be on point because at some point you're probably gonna go down, yo. You know, and just be on point and try to get res as soon as possible. The tighter that we are stacked behind the boss, the easier it is for the healers. Yeah, and
S-
yes.
It's 30 seconds and then